Magic the Gathering has a lot of amazing horses. Oh wait, actually, if you read the title, you're totally not going to believe that. All right, let's go! Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, and welcome to my video on the top 10 suck bag horses in all of Magic the Gathering-dom. Now, how did we get here? Well, what the hell just happened there? We started with the Vine Mare. Yesterday, I was actually hanging out in a live stream of Tabletop Girls. She was talking about building a horse deck online. If you like horse decks and you like people losing at Magic Arena, I say go check her out. Anyways, that being said, she was talking about that, and it made me track back in time a second to when they brought out the Crested Sun Mare. And I'm like, oh, hey, look, they brought out like kind of a horse lordy kind of, like horse tribal kind of card. And then I went, wait, are there even horses to build a horse deck with? So I kind of looked at it and went, well, that's neato, but not really great for a horse deck. Now, M19 comes along, and they printed actually a bunch of new horses. Vine Mare was the one that actually got me thinking about all this. And interestingly enough, up until now, and actually still now pretty much, the only good horses in all of Magic have mare in their name. The first horse of Magic the Gathering was Nightmare. Oh man, I remember that card actually was a nightmare. I played green a lot, and honestly, the Nightmare would come out and it was flying, which was a huge problem for my green deck, and at a certain number of swamps, like, you couldn't Dark Ritual out a Nightmare out, and it's not that scary. Like, a double Dark Ritual with Nightmare is only 2/2. But once they have like 8 or 9 swamps out, all of a sudden it's as big as my Force of Nature or bigger. So the Nightmare was a really cool horse with really awesome artwork. The original artwork on Nightmare is so great. And the other two old school, well, one's more old school than the other. Thundermare was the red, I'm coming for your face, crazy fire horse. I don't know, honestly, I never cared about Thundermare that much because back when Thundermare came out, I heavily played blue and barely played creatures, so I think I would probably have more respect for Thundermare if I had played against it and it had really schooled me. But it didn't. Really solid card, though, for the time it came out in. And then you've got Timbermare, which is a really cool green card that I'm a huge fan of, with some incredibly interesting art, man. That horse is an elemental horse. Now that's funky as hell. So those were really the only 3 good horses throughout the history of Magic up until Crested Sun Mare. That's how bad it was. So if you wanted to play horse tribal, you had to be going 4 different colors for a terrible deck. Now, they come along with things like Vine Mare, and Vine Mare is an okay card. 2 green, 2 colors for a 5/3, so that's not too bad for the body. It's got hexproof, and it can't be blocked by black creatures. Now this to me, when I looked at it, I went 5/3, and the can't be blocked by black creatures kind of feels like they've shied away from using protection from colors so much anymore. But the Vine Mare actually really made me think of Phantom Centaur from Judgment, which is, it's a 2/0, I should say, printed down on the bottom. But in effect, it also is a 4 mana 5/3, because it comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it, and it has protection from black, and it's half horse, half man. So it's like, oh, you know, it's got that horse vibe. But honestly, this is the first thing I thought of. The original joke was going to be along the lines for the video, and it was going to start, it was going to be something along the lines of, what happens when you take the man part out of a centaur, referencing Phantom Centaur and Vine Mare. Oh, one giant mess, something like that. But I decided, screw it, whatever, man. That was originally when I was going to talk more about that kind of stuff. But all this led to me thinking about how much horses are not that great at Magic, so I ended up doing some research. But before that, let's talk about Phantom Centaur and its connection one step back, because I like thinking about the older cards. And Vine Mare made me think of Phantom Centaur, but Phantom Centaur, with its pro-black and +1/+1 counters, made me think of Whirling Dervish, and I adore Whirling Dervish. Just these little nomad dudes, they're like, what's up, we got our swords, we're gonna mess you up. 2 green gets you 1/1, and they have protection from black, which back then, they were the only dudes, the only green guys with protection from black, which I loved. And whenever they hit your opponent, you get a +1/+1 counter on them, which is dope. They just keep growing. These were a serious serious problem for a player playing straight black. Like, after a couple turns, the Urg Raiders wouldn't be able to punch through, and you could smack through whenever you wanted to. Like, these guys were incredible against black decks. Also of note is I enjoy the really old school wording of gains +1/+1 in brackets, use counters at the end of each turn in which it does damage to opponent. So those are the old school connections that I felt to Vinemare. But I decided I was originally thinking, you know what, maybe I'll talk about the horse decks that are going on. Maybe I'll go through and I'll find some cool horses from Magic's history. Well, I couldn't do it, boys. I couldn't find a bunch of cool old horses. Literally, the only ones were the ones that I mentioned. So instead, I started to look at all the horses and go, man, these are terrible. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to narrow it down to the 10 worst, the biggest suck bag horses out there. Now, guys, these are all so bad that I sat down, I wrote them down, and I was getting ready to like number them and order them, and I started to have a really hard time with even where to start. So I decided what we'll do is I'm not going to number them, and I'm not going through them in any specific order. They're essentially randomized, and at the end, I want you guys to decide with me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think the worst one is. So without any further ado, let's get into the top 10 suck bag Magic cards. And as a note, just so you guys know, we will be including cards that were Oracle updated to be horses retroactively. And I do use original printings of cards. So some of them, like the first card we're going to talk about, do have a different creature type printed than horse, but they are horses. So the first card is Black Carriage, and as you can see, it's a summon Carriage, but that has been errated to horse, so it's now a horse creature type. 5 mana gets you a 4/4 trample. It doesn't untap during your untap phase. 0 mana, sacrifice a creature to untap it. You can only do that ability during your upkeep. And it says the Baron's drivers are also driven, and so it's talking about the drivers of the Carriage. And what the crazy part to me is that it's just horses now. It's like they change it to horse, and it's like, are the horses the entire threat? How do they untap by sacrificing a creature? I don't understand the flavor. I don't understand the flavor behind this horse. On top of that, this is terrible. 5 mana for a 4/4 that you're gonna get to attack with once unless you sacrifice a creature. This is the kind of garbage we played with back in the day. Now, from a flavor perspective, this card is fantastic. It totally actually feels like it should have been in the dark. This has a very the dark feel to it. But that's the only nice thing I can say about this card. It is terrible. Speaking of terrible, every suck bag horse on this list would be terrible. And this next one looks like a big bag of suck with 4 spindly legs. The Zodiac Horse. How about 1 green and 3 colors for a 3/3 island walking horse? It's like, what is even going on? I don't understand. The flavor text gives no help. It says, first take Jingzhou. Next, the Riverlands. On that rich region, base your own royal stand. And then it's just got the horse like kind of prancing in front of a zodiac wheel. And the horse looks old and it doesn't look like a really strong, impressive horse. It doesn't look like a 3/3 horse at all. So this is it's just wonk dongling, man. At least it's not as crazy as the Clockwork Steed. This thing is insane. Look at the artwork. It's so absolutely bizarre. Why wouldn't you put a tarp over this thing? Why wouldn't you hide the internal components? First of all, because it's garish and horrible to look at and kind of nightmarish. And secondly, keep the dust and stuff out of your magical cogs, lady. Holy crap. You went to all the effort to put like a mane and a tail and everything on it, which definitely aren't functional. So why did you not cover this thing? And look at this wall of text. It can't be blocked by artifact creatures. When it comes into play, it has 4 +1/+0 counters on it, so it's a 4/3 essentially. At end of any combat, when it attacks or blocks, remove a counter, and then you have to, during your upkeep, you have to tap and pay X to restore these counters. That's how this piece of garbage works. And I don't even understand, why can this not be blocked by artifact creatures? It's just some hoopity-choopity, rickety-crickety kind of clockwork steed, where every time it gets into combat, you have to wind it back up. How is it possibly not blockable by fucking artifact creatures? I don't get it. It's like these horses have weird blocking abilities tied in. You can see it with Sacred Prey. It shows just how useless this horse is. And this horse looks just like the Zodiac Horse that was a 3/3. But this one's a 1/1. What the hell? So look at this. 1 green for a 1/1. When Sacred Prey becomes blocked, you gain 1 life. To see one's a good omen to the Cho Aram. No, apparently to see one die is a good omen. You're supposed to summon this thing up. If it gets blocked, whatever it gets blocked by is going to kill it automatically because it's a 1/1. How do you gain life from that? Like the artwork shows a beast that's going to eat the horse. What do you run up and just gar, 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 gar? I'm like that dude from the movie Split. I'm also a beast. Like, how does this work? Or does the sacred prey, like the Lynx there monster, just tear off a chunk of the horse and go, "Thanks for hooking me up, bro. Here's your tip." Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. All right. At least the Dwarven Pony makes sense. The artwork is so funny. All right. Dwarven Pony is 1 red for a 1/1. This one looks just like the Zodiac Horse too. They all look the same in terms of size. So, you've got a red and a colorless. Tap it to give target dwarf mountain walk until end of turn. It's not even like any creature. You have to invest 3 mana to give 1 dwarf. Oh my god. 3 mana. 1 to put it out. Wait a turn. Pay 2. Tap it to give what dwarf unblockable if your opponent. This basically says pay 2. One of your dwarfs can't be blocked by your opponent if they have mountains. What? So bad. I hear Helena's got a pony that can count to 6 and likes to eat meat. What the fuck? Chandler, you're the same guy who had the quote on the black carriage. Is Chandler some kind of weird horse enthusiast? What the hell is going on with this? That's a weird. I heard she has a really smart horse that can count to 6 and it eats meat. It's like, is it a human or something trapped in a horse's body? Either way, look at the size of the pony. I love the dwarf's outfit. He looks like a Renaissance dwarf. And the art, like the weird border in the background, it's like, at first it looked like that was just a green bar painted into the sky as opposed to them standing in front of stables or something. But look at how tall the dwarf and the pony look compared to that little hill behind them. The artwork on this, the perspective is nuts. Just nuts. Oh man, next up. Oh my god, look at this gigantic bag of suck. The Hyperion, 1 white and 1 colorless for a 1/3, and here's its ability. Cannot be assigned to block a creature with power 3 or greater unless you pay an additional 1. The whole point of having a creature with higher toughness is that you would use it as a blocker. But this horse you can't use for that purpose unless you pay extra mana. And you look at the artwork, the mountains in the back look invisible. They look invisible to me, and like the forests are inside of it. But worse than that, this horse, it looks like it has downs, man. Look, this horse has super derpy face. It's like someone once said that Hyperions are the warriors and what Aether are the Sky Knights. Don't believe it. You're goddamn right, General Jarkeld. You can't believe that at all, my man. You can't believe it because they won't tangle with anything that can kill them. Oh, they're terrible steeds. Ugh. All right, then we got Phantasmal Image. No, Phantasmal Mount, sorry. I'm so used to Phantasmal Image. The much better card for the same casting cost. So, 1 blue, 1 colorless for this crazy Phantasm flying horse. It's 1/1. Tap it to give target creature you control, and the creature you control has to have toughness less than 3. It gets flying and gets +1/+1 till end of turn. And then if that creature dies, the mount also dies this turn. That's what it is. It's a piece of garbage. Basically, pay 2 mana, tap it to give a creature that has toughness 3 or less flying +1/+1. But if the creature dies, you lose this mount. Now, I will say the artwork on this is absolutely incredible. Man, that would be a really impressive mount to fly around. That's one non-suck bag element of this. Melissa Benson did a really, really amazing job on this artwork. I really like Phantasmal Mount artwork-wise. So, enough praise. Back on to the suckitude. Suck it, Tarpan. All right. 1 green for a 1/1. And the only purpose of this thing is to die. You can tell. Look at it. The description, not description, the text. If Tarpan is put into the graveyard from play, gain 1 life. A good Tarpan will serve you faithful and true. A bad one will kick you in the head. Oh my god. See, this is so dumb. And look at how fast it makes them look. It makes them look like they move really quick. But no haste, no nothing. Oh, just like the Sacred Praise. Feed us some beast. Just get it eaten. And all these old creatures like Tarpan and Hyperion all had creature types based on what they were. Like, so Tarpan wasn't a horse, it was a Tarpan. So you couldn't even do horse tribal if you wanted to. Oh, we're almost through this list of suckitude from the past, my friends. Trenching Steed. Oh god, look at this prophecy garbage. 4 mana for a 2/3. It's a rebel horse now. Sacrifice a land to give it +3 toughness. I don't even see how that works. The Keldon took several of the steeds as trophies of war. They'd never seen such a light beast stand so firm. Well, how does it end up sacrificing lands to gain 3 toughness? I don't understand. And the artwork doesn't look like a horse at all. Kind of looks like a horse. And look at its head and everything. And on top of that, the rider does not look like he's controlling it. This is not like a beast that's getting a boost from the land. This looks like an out of control beast. This looks like garbage. This thing looks bigger, and this thing looks bigger than the Zodiac Horse, and it's only 2-3. Oh my god. Oh my god. How can it get any worse? How can it get any worse? Oh, I know. We can get like an 11-year-old Metallica's fan idea of what a magical horse should be. Jesus. Look at this thing. Bronze Horse. 7 mana, 4/4 trample. Damage done to Bronze Horse by spells which target it is reduced to 0 as long as you control another creature. How is that transmitted by the artwork? This thing breathes liquid fire. It should have some kind of fire breathing ability. Its tail is like a pizza wheel / cowboy spurs. And is that its dong? Does it have a tiny little metal dong sticking out between its legs? What the hell is this? What? How is this? Oh my god, how is this a horse? This is insane. My friends, this has been the list of super suckbag horses. So as to not skew the voting as to which is the worst, I am not going to tell you which one I think is the worst. So head on down to the comments section. Let me know what you guys think. No more horseplay. Get down there. Let me know. And as a last note, I want to welcome the 4 newest Lords of Purple. You guys, welcome since yesterday. I am saying hello to a Sassy Mika, Caleb Wolfgang, a Kyle Carson, and Undead the Brownie. That's a 4. 4 new patrons. Thanks for going up. I was about to say, thanks for joining the Golden Lords of Purple, my friends. I will see you guys in the end. Scroll Miggity Bowl.
Together, we are the 6th color of magic.
And I'm history, baby.